welcome to Mindful Mindsets with Katie and Kat. Today we're going to be talking about creativity and how we use the gemstone Sodalite to kind of represent that in our jewelry designs and why creativity is important.
Yes. So on our affirmation card, we have a little description about Sodalite and what it means. It says, Sodalite is an excellent stone to elevate creativity and symbolizes the importance of exploring new ideas and ways of thinking. Sodalite's beautiful blue earthy swirls can open your mind to new possibilities by reminding you to think outside the box without worry or fear of judgment from others.
And it's a fun stone because it has like the variations. I don't know, for those of you watching, you can see, but like the dark blues, the light blues, the whites all kind of like swirled in there. It's a really, really cool, fun gemstone. And I was talking to Melissa the other day about how we do the earrings, and how we match up. Like, especially if it's like a bigger piece of the stone, like we have those big teardrops, and how you have to, like find matches as best you can. And this is one of those gemstones that you could like order one pair and it could be like almost completely like different pair of earrings.
It's crazy, which is kind of fun.
Yes.
For most people, I guess.
Yes. And so this is a really good one though for creativity. I feel like some of the mindsets that we have kind of like attached with the jewelry are so good for like, like I need to tap into this today. Like creativity, clarity. Maybe I'm just going off the ones that I am always like, oh, I need that, like confidence. Those are a lot of kind of like my go-tos for whatever reason, but yeah.
Yes. Well, it's very needed in your job.
Yeah, that is probably
creativity
true.
Every day.
Yes, that
ads
is true.
and emails and designing pieces.
Yes.
It's a very creative job.
Yes. Yeah.
But I'm curious. I was always told growing up, like, oh, you're so creative when it comes to like arts and crafts or drawing, things like that. But I think there are other ways to be creative than just like the crafting.
Yes.
Do you feel like that's very natural to you? Are there other ways in your life that you're creative other than jewelry making and things like that?
Yeah, like drawing.
The artsy
things. Yeah, that's a really good question. I think for the one that comes to mind for me is actually like creativity and problem solving. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like that is one that, and again, it's so funny because again, I was so like anti-AI for so long. Like, it's hard, I don't understand, I don't know.
No,
get away
from
me. But now again, especially like in our business, how we're able to incorporate that and do that, I'm almost like, I feel like I've almost swung the opposite way where I'm just like, ChatGPT, think for me. Just tell me, here's the problem, here's what I want to do, just tell me how to do it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in some ways that is being creative to use ChatGPT. And again, you got to do the prompting and everything like that. But I don't know, that's one that I thought of for sure is like, you could be creative in how you approach problems and solutions in like all different areas, your personal life, your home life, like all the things.
No, that's a great one.
I don't know. Do you have any that you've like thought of or?
No, probably just problem solving. Because I think sometimes it just takes somebody else's point of view to be like, oh, well, duh. Yeah, that's a great idea. Of course, that's how we're going to solve this problem. Or of course, that's how this should go. And so, I don't know, I think not only creativity for yourself, but also being open to other people's creativity and their ideas without feeling like, oh, why didn't I come up with that? Or I don't know.
Or even not accept it and being like, oh, I wouldn't do it that way, or I don't look at it that way, Yeah, so there's creativity, again, kind of like around the arts everyone thinks of and goes to, which is awesome and is super great. Again, we talk about mindsets and mindfulness practices. I feel like, meditating, journaling, breath work, affirmations, like all of those are so good, but creativity is one that maybe is kind of like a little more under the radar, but you could put as an actual like mindfulness practice is like, hey, I'm going to do something creative. Again, maybe in the arts tends to kind of like be that area. I'm going to create something. And that in turn kind of like helps my internal regulation and just like my mindset and how I'm looking and feeling in this moment and in the world. That at least I know I don't always go to. Maybe other people are in kind of like that habit of like, hey, I'm going to go paint something or photograph something. I know like Melissa, like she's so good. She does like a photo jewelry, but then she just also sometimes randomly photographs like beautiful just flowers just for fun.
Yeah. She's like one of the most creative people I think I know.
Yes. Yeah, we're really lucky to have her on the team now. That's awesome.
Yes, very happy to have her.
Yeah, so I think those are, problem solving, the arts, even just using it to help regulate and use it as like a mindfulness practice in and of itself.
Yeah. Do you think that people can create more creativity within themselves? Is that something that you can develop, or is it just you're born with creativity, like you are naturally very creative?
Yeah, so I don't, and this is so funny, and I'm going to talk about this one in particular thing. So I don't believe that. I believe like anything in this life, you can absolutely like become almost like the best of the best if you just, again, put your mind to it, almost like manifest it, like you focus on it, you do it. But there's only one, and even now, like especially with technology and everything, I'm like, I wonder if that could even be a thing. So growing up, like when I was a little girl, I really was into like acting, and I thought for a long time like that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be like an actress, and right,
little baby cat.
But I got really discouraged because in high school we would do like a lot of musicals and stuff, and I was always I never felt like I had a good singing voice, and for some reason that was like the one area that it was just like this universal truth: you are either born a good singer or you aren't. And I was like, and I believe, and now it's like I've started to see like these advertisements for apps and things that you can actually like find the songs that match your voice and train. And then I even think of like other actors, like Mel Gibson, he's done some stuff, and I'm like, I don't know if he was actually like born with this like Celine Dion singing voice, but I think maybe he did just like practice that and cultivate it and believe it and like put that kind of like confidence vibration out there. So I think it's almost like the same. I'm starting to think that even singing falls into that category, but creativity, it's like you believe you're a creative person, so then you therefore do things. But if it's so much about like your belief in yourself, and again, like confidence, bringing that piece in, it's like, hey, I'm not a creative person. I'm not like, oh no, like reframe your brain. Like, yes, I am. Maybe your creativity doesn't look the same as someone else's. Like, again, like I have family members who are just amazing artists, and they can sit down and sketch and draw, and you're like, I can never do that. You probably could if you actually, again, take the classes, did the time, practice. But there are so many other ways that your creativity can manifest if you just like almost like believe that about yourself.
I love that.
Like, where do you think you fall on kind of like that spectrum of creativity?
I don't know. I feel like in the traditional artsy way, that was more as a kid. I would love to draw and sketch. Like in church, I would draw little pictures for this cute old lady in my ward at church. So cute. And she was like, oh my gosh, you were just so talented. And so then that was like anything. Okay. Just like flowers.
Did you ever take like art classes in high school? Or? Oh, okay.
I did. And my art teacher was the best. Shout out to Mr. Millman. He was amazing. But I never like took it seriously. It was just like, oh, this is just a fun class. And I never wanted to be an artist. I never wanted to do dance. I did, but not like as a career or that wasn't my life passion. But I think it was more just fun. Okay. And then now that I'm older, I don't do a lot of that. I feel like my creativity really is work. And so
you do differently.
I do. That's the thing.
And you are so good. You've always been. That was like one of the, I remember like the first areas, I think, if I remember right, like we actually kind of like moved you into was kind of like more graphic art design stuff with the business, as opposed to just like making the jewelry and, shipping the orders and things like that. And you've always, and you've still like
I still do
to this
that.
day. I'm like, Katie, make it pretty. I'm terrible at it sometimes.
Sometimes I do good.
At it. Thank you, Canva. Shout out to Canva.
Canva makes everything look good.
Yes. Oh, they're getting crazy now. I told you they've incorporated like these AI tools now, and I'm like, what is happening? Are we all just gonna lose our creativity because of...
Well, if you think of it that way, maybe. But if you think of it as just another tool to make things really awesome, maybe not.
Reframe it.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to add about creativity?
I don't think so. I think this is a fun stone and a fun affirmation to kind of, it's a little different than the other ones, but it's a fun one to channel. So.
It is so fun. I feel like fun and creativity, like they almost can't, like you can't have creativity without fun, because otherwise it's not creative. It's like work. It's that, you know, it's so it's a really interesting thought for sure. I love that. You know me, little 7 Enneagram. Like, give me the fun, give me the creativity. I love it. If it's not
fun, I won't do it.
I'm not doing it.
True. Cool. All right. Well, let's end with our affirmation. The creativity affirmation for Sodalite is, I allow creativity to flow through me.
Awesome. Love it. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you next week when we talk about another mindset that you can incorporate into your life.